Welcome to the Vector Garden. In this video we are going to discuss the Photoshop knockout groups, how they work, what can go wrong with them, and in this process we are also going to get an improved version of that file that offers more flexibility. First of all, we're going to start with an explanation, a look into Photoshop layers, and for that I'm going to create a new file. So that can be very small. There we've got it. And let's take a look at the layers. So in this file we have the background layer, and the background layer, you see, it's locked by default and it's a very special layer. So first of all I'm going to fill it with some color like this. And now when you take the eraser tool and you're erasing something here, then you see it gets the background color, which is white currently. I'm going to undo that. Let's double click this and set the background color to red, and when I now erase, it gets red. So we do not get anything transparent in the background layer. It can't be transparent. So let's create a new layer in this. And you already see it has this checkerboard in the layers panel. So it has a hint that this is transparent. So when I take the brush tool and let's make that larger and paint something. So I'm going to use this green color and paint something, and you see this paints just where I have drawn. On the outside it's transparent, and when I now take the eraser tool and erase on this, then you see the background layer shows through that. So we've got transparency in here, and when I hide the background layer, then we have transparency. So these layers, these image layers, can have transparency, but the background layer can't. The background layer is a very special layer, and it plays an important role in this knockout group kind of workflow. So let's go to the demo. I have simplified this file, and I have also applied different color to the different layers in this. So what's important for this knockout group is a group. We have this group up here, and inside of that group we have that text, and we have this layer below which has that in here. I'm going to hide all the other ones. So it's this image that is the layer below the text, and then below that, outside of the group, is that green layer, just a normal layer, and then we have a layer which is the background layer, which is this lighter green. In here we have another layer which I'm going to use later on for demoing a better improved version. So let's take this all and select these, so we have them turned on. And now what's also important, you go into the group and this needs to be passed through, and everything else just normal. No knockout applied to this actual group. Let's cancel that. And now we're going to edit this layer here, and we need the stroke applied, so we've got the white stroke to this. This is nothing that is necessary for knockout groups to work. This is just necessary for the effect I want to achieve. And then what we need is a fill opacity, which is this one here. So this one is just applied to the fill of the layer, but not to the effect. If we use instead this one up here, then you see the effect is also applied, which we do not want. We just want this one here. And then we've got the knockout here. And now we need to take a look at this construction in the Layers panel and what we're going to see here. So we've got not a lot of space. Let's move that up. And then we have the knockout menu. And the knockout menu has 3 menu items. We've got none, which is obviously nothing happening here. And then we've got shallow and we've got deep. So let's take a look at shallow. And you see when I select that, the text is knocked out to this layer here. So it's the next layer, which is below the group. That's what shallow does. So it stops the knockout when it reaches something outside of the group. And then we've also got deep. And then you see it punches through everything until it reaches that background layer. So it only stops at that background layer, which is always at the bottom, and it's always non-transparent. So that's the difference between those settings. Now I'm going to OK. Let's see what happens when I turn that off. Then you see we've got transparency because there's no background layer. And it doesn't stop here because it punches through the whole thing. And when there's no background layer, then it just does not stop like this. So let's go to this one here, which is just a blue football player. Let's turn that on and you see nothing. We don't see it because this deep setting punches through everything right down to the background layer. And this one is not a background layer. Let's set this to shallow, like so. And then you see it stops at the green. But if there is no green, then we get something that is really interesting because it shows this one. It stops at the blue player. And then we also see the background because the blue player is on a transparent layer, and the flexibility we get, you see, we still got the flexibility that we can move around this text, and we can change the text, we can change the font, we can change the line weight of that stroke, of that outline, and also we have a very simple method of changing the background color, which is kind of nice. So that allows us, of course, we can also apply it to the photographic version. And then you see if we have this setup here, so everything is the same. We've got the photo in here, and then we've got that football player separated from the background, and the background is just this light lemon green. And if I realize that I don't like it, that I would rather have it in that dark green, then I could just change that, and it's very simple to do so. I do not need any selection to do so. I could just change it. So we have even more flexibility if we do not set this to deep but to shallow, and have that different setup of this background here.